Good afternoon to you and also to your viewers. You've got it perfectly correct.
Oh, thank you very much. That's the scorecard I needed. Now, let's begin by asking you, the legal elements of the treason charges, what are they?
Yeah. Basically, if you look at that, that's what we refer to as a common law crime. So there are basically 4 things in which you can be charged for treason for. It says by your conduct, when you have allegiance to our country, which is South Africa, you have acted in a way that seeks to overthrow the current government. Secondly, if you are going to entice the government to act in a violent or non-violent manner with the sole intention of destabilizing the government, if you then, which is the third one, entice or engage in processes that threaten the independence or the security of the republic, and lastly, if you do things which are going to seek to change the constitutional structure of government, then it is on those 4 bases in which you are then regarded as if you have committed the crime of high treason, which is the highest form of any offense that you could take place against the state. Hence, the punishment that would be given to someone who is found guilty of doing that is quite severe.
So what does the right of expressing say in the South African Constitution? Now, the reason that I'm asking this is because of AfriForum, they might say they have a right to air their discontent to anyone, even outside the country. What are your thoughts?
Definitely. So that's going to be one of the defenses in which they are going to say. They'll say 2 things. One, they'll say we have a Bill of Rights within our constitution that says we have freedom of association. We've chosen to associate ourselves with AfriForum and sort of solidarity. And then secondly, we have a freedom of expression. So anything that we want to state can be stated. If you have any offense to it, then take us to court and then we'll retract it if there's any defamation that is there. But the manner in which our jurisprudence has been developed, our courts have stated that politicians and political parties themselves are subject to some criticism. So there's going to be people that are going to say bad things about a political party. There's no malice which is intended. It's simply within the realm of freedom of expression in which you would find it. The same freedom of expression which is extended to the media in terms of things that are going okay and things that are not going okay. So it may be that you would find that must be frowned upon or is immoral, let me call it like that, to go to a foreign country and speak of things which are not of fact. But at the end of the day, if you want to hold those individuals accountable in terms of the law, that's when you're going to have a very difficult task of doing so. Because one of the tests which is going to be made is going to be, but for the act of the AfriForum going to the US and speaking with President Trump, these are the consequences in which you are suffering. Now, that's where they're going to have a difficult task in proving what consequences did you suffer. Did those consequences that have taken place would have not have taken place anyways, for example, the loss of jobs, loss of lives. But the most important one would be, let's look at the stage in which you are alleged you are being prisoners against. Do you have a sitting president? Yes. Is the judiciary working? Yes. Are all government departments working? Yes. Is the legislature working? Yes. Then the question would be, in what way then did you seek to overthrow the government? In what way are you seeking to unseat the government as it is? Or is it just a process of someone saying, I was merely expressing my freedom of speech and expressing my opinion, and I happen to find favor in a foreign country?
Now, Mpumelelo, how strong is this case against AfriForum, knowing that investigations have started?
Well, it will be difficult to gauge from here, but if we look at the answers and the statements that we've read, you find that the case is quite weak, especially if there are no results or consequences that have taken place after those utterances were made. I think we're about to approach 3 weeks from now, and since the statement was made, and there's been no public violence, for example, there could be no rights groups that have said we are now going to the Union buildings to occupy it. Yes, there was a march, but that particular march was quite, for lack of a better word, peaceful. There were no undue things that have taken place. There are no bombings, for example, in any state or government institutions. There's no threats that have taken place. So you could come back and say it is quite calm, even after those particular statements have been made. So if that's the case, then it means that the state is going to have a very difficult task in proving guilt when it comes to high treason.
Mpumelelo Zikhalala, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon here on the news. Thank you.